My bully copied my test answers all year, so I let him copy something that made him repeat 8th grade. I was the most invisible 8th grader at Jefferson Middle School, until I fell into the crosshairs of Blake. You know the type, the golden boy with that perfect smile, teacher small boy with the kind of guy who could get away with anything because everyone loved him too much to notice, and that's exactly what he did. Things December. Blake had turned me into his personal supply store with his daily got a fair pen routine, and by February I got into a brief wood place to Blake's that never can. When I fetched the cheaper one, he'd actually had the note the pen with his cheap ones again. This merch, it's a became anyway. But the pen backs was just the appetizer to his full course meal of making my life miserable because Blake didn't just want my supplies, he wanted my work too. During every test, I'd feel him lean over just enough to see my paper, copying my answers with confidence as someone who'd never been caught. And the worst part was he was right because teachers loved him too much to notice. When we got our practice test results back and his scores matched mine perfectly, Mrs. Kim actually praised him for his improvement, and I bit my tongue so hard it bled. Stealing my tongue was me meant for Blake, then I could restart it. Man, the same slide before they tilling up and I walk like a penguin. That I bit miscalling me goats because when I asked for bled, he tree farted it was his references. By March, he told everyone I'd begged him to date me and wouldn't take no for an answer, complete with fake screenshots he'd somehow created. And suddenly, I was the desperate girl who couldn't accept rejection. Random 7th graders would make goat noises at me in the hallways while making kissing sounds, and I'd keep walking with my head down, counting the days until exams would end this nightmare. I'll never forget the day in the cafeteria when Blake loudly asked, "Yo, Sarah, why the long face?" "One day, that's just your face." His buddy Jake chimed in, let's more like goat row." One day abruptly and last year, 20k stormed the stereo may stand in there with her long tray, frozen. No, she tried and Blake ran like he'd won something. Then came the moment that broke something inside me when Mrs. Kim announced to the entire class, "Blake, why don't you move your seat next to Sarah? You focus so much better there, and she's such a good influence on your work." She literally sanctioned his cheating by putting him right next to me, and Blake's smirk told me he knew exactly what gift he'd just been given. For the next few weeks, I endured his cheating with a row seat. Then, the night before our final math exam that was his tuning whether we got into high school, I sat in the room staring at my desk drawer where I got the random stuff from over the years, and that's when I saw him photo cam for there were 2 years I got into during it. Right now, got into my room where Abel screamed in bright tacky letters, and I remembered buying it for $3 thinking it would be funny for April Fools or something. The pen looked completely normal otherwise, just a basic black ballpoint that could pass for any generic pen. I picked it up and something clicked in my brain. This wasn't just a forgotten gag gift anymore, this was justice. I spent 10 minutes carefully removing the label with acetone and a razor blade, making sure no residue remained, then tested it on scrap paper to confirm the ink really did vanish after the package claimed. The next morning, I held acidutic paper to the mega, then smiled at the black ape had performed the equation exclaimed Heber to claim the text to quick claiming the front pocket of my bag where I usually kept his daily donation. Sure enough, 8:15 a.m. when we sat down, Blake appeared beside my desk. "Got a spare pen?" he asked. Same entitled tone as always. I handed over the prepared pen with the same defeated expression I'd did over months of this ritual. "Legend," he said with that condescending smirk, pocketing it like I owed him. During the exam, I positioned my paper at just the right angle where Blake could see it clearly from his teacher-sanctioned seat, and for the first time all year, I didn't bother shielding my answers with my arm. My heart was counting as I worked through each problem methodically, taking my time with the calculations and making sure my handwriting was neat and readable, or cleaning mighty hand probably every number with and with Blake regularly if can moving in topic organizations in my it's describing my hand. An hour of him furiously copying my work while I pretended not to notice, and when the exam ends, Blake actually looks relieved, probably thinking he just secured another stolen pass, completely unaware that every answer he'd written was already fading into. I watched him hand in his paper with a satisfied smile, and I had to bite my lip to keep from grinning. Results came in August, and the universe delivered. I passed and got into high school while Bliff found math with a completely blank paper. His dad spent August at the school district of it scheming about system errors while Blake fooled he bling havered hengsa. Putty Navis is blank.